Cancers, how's it going? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. This will be a general message for Taurus, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Why are we talking about Taurus? Are you fighting with a Taurus? Interesting. All right, this will be a general tarot message for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. I welcome you to come into this reading with an open heart, an open mind. Please only take away what resonates, what fits your circumstance or scenario. I want these messages ideally to motivate, empower, inspire you. If you walk away with food for thought, that's good, absolutely. But if you are walking away not feeling very great about it, it might not be your message, or you might not be ready to hear it. Sometimes that happens too. So anyway, up to you what you want to take away. You are accountable and responsible for all your own options, all your own actions and decisions. I feel like I'm tongue-tied, Cancer. And the thing is, I was trying to go slow too. All your own actions and decisions, you are responsible for them. So choose wisely. All right. I'm going to focus on my cards here. Let's tap into that Cancer energy. Cancer energy. Ooh, they're popping already. Judgment. All right. There's a reawakening. Going back to the past to find culmination, completion, or internal conclusion sometimes. It's not always external to ourselves. Sometimes we need to make things right internally, and then that's sort of projected out into the external world. What are we looking back at? It's something with a child or a parent-child relationship. It could also be something with someone who has already passed on, specifically like a mother figure or a grandmother figure. What are we looking back on and trying to find resolution with? Yeah, possibly someone who has passed, or something from your childhood. It could be your past as a child. Wandering too far, or feeling like, I almost get this as feeling like you weren't nurtured in the way that you needed to be. Could be something with a Sagittarius child, or if you're the child, it could be with a Sagittarius. And what are we starting to understand? It's almost like we were in the student role of understanding something from our past. What are we starting to understand here in a higher vibe? Let's go up here then. Actually, I want to see before I do that, what is she looking at here? Some of you turned your back to medicine. I don't know if that has to do with a degree or feeling like you should have provided some sort of help or nurturing sooner than you did. I don't know what that is, but you turned your back to temperance. So this can be a card of alchemy, of balance, of patience. Some of you, maybe if you have Leo placements, you may have been too zealous or too excitable or too impatient to wait the proper timing. You may feel like you rushed something and you wish you could go back and be more steady or do it differently. Yeah, okay. Very interesting with the Six of Cups too. It's very, very much tied to what I view as like a parent-child or some relationship where there was a decent age gap. It could be romantic, but I don't know. Typically, Six of Cups has a more innocent vibe to it. It's not necessarily my first card of romance, is what I'm saying. You may be trying to fix something with, again, a unsettled family issue. It sometimes can be a card of siblings or something with the mother, something with the father. So then what are we starting to see in a higher vibration? I want to make sure you can see all these cards. We have kind of a new setup here. Sometimes they go off camera. So what are we being woken up to? What are we starting to see with more clarity when we return to the past and do some sort of, I'm hearing excavation, is that the right word? A clearing, a cleansing out, a moving forward, releasing what we can't control or what no longer needs to hold space in our lives, especially in our emotions, our memories, very much Cancerian energy. Putting up the walls with someone and giving them the silent treatment, or feeling like you were silenced or pushed up against the wall, feeling like you were excommunicated or an outsider, feeling like you didn't belong, feeling rejected or pushed aside, feeling very burdened by something that you didn't have a lot of, I'm hearing like authority or responsibility. Again, something with the mother for some of you, with the High Priestess. For some of you, there was like a discovery of like a family secret or something you felt like you were either kept out of the loop or it was kept hidden from you. And somebody put up the walls like they weren't willing to talk about it. There was something you had a lot to say, but you were forced, this is a really cool message, you were forced to express that pain, that fear, that anxiety, that struggle, that frustration in an alternative way because the person you wanted to have the conversation with wasn't willing to have it with you. So it's almost like you ended up creating a blog of, victims or survivors of this thing, and it doesn't have to be that extreme, but there was some other way to express what needed to be expressed via another source. And it was a huge point of like bravery for you. You were able to sort of conquer this area of your life and take back control of something that felt very imbalanced, and something that really kept you wondering or kept you stuck in the past. It's almost like I like this, you found resolution internally. And so by letting your own walls down and not attributing this past or this story to, victimhood or almost looking at it as like, well, this is why I'm broken or this is what broke me. You took your power back in a very poised, unflinching way. And it does have to do with the catharsis of expressing that pent-up emotion or rage, or you allowed it to flow. You allowed it to be fluid. You didn't let sort of that still old spoiled water kind of muck up and gum up the works. I almost get through writing or through something poetic or something artistic or creative, you released that demon, from your past that was hidden inside you. And again, it may have to do with sort of some unsettled baggage from your past with a person, whether it was family or not, where it felt like you never got the chance to have that conversation. I don't ever predict death, but only because there is this theme of sort of like angels and the divine. A lot of you may have felt really closed off or restricted because someone or something exited your life too soon and you couldn't go back and reconcile it. This is a huge lesson for Cancers about reconciling something internally just simply for yourself. If you find internal peace, internal balance, then nothing can shake you. This experience was probably humbling or disappointing in a way, but you're actually in Scorpio season, no less, transforming it into your source of power. Cancer, I just want to like drop the mic. This feels incredible. I hope some of you resonate with this and know what it is. And I do hope that you're making it to the point where you're seeing that, your wounds are your wisdom, but it's not even that. It's so much bigger. This experience transformed you into who you're becoming today, and it's powerful. The High Priestess is like, many reasons to respect her and what she does, and it could be male too, right? For all my male Cancers out there, this is bomb. This is powerful stuff. I really, really like this. Channeling it into something useful. There's almost a Virgo element of this too. It's like breaking it down, editing it, perfecting it so that it doesn't become a noose around your neck or a lead weight around your foot or your leg, however you want to say it. It's like trimming the fat to only pull out the useful bits of it, and the useful bits have transformed you into something much braver, much greater, much more powerful than I think you ever anticipated. So it might take you a while to get here, but I think in time some of you are going to be absolutely grateful that you did experience this, because it's almost like you may be serving as an advocate or advocating for others in a similar position. And it does ultimately, in a very Cancerian way, have this element of kindness and healing and nurturing, but it's almost like something that you lacked or needed, you're providing to other people, and it is a source of power. All these Scorpio words I'm using. All right, Cancer, this is a deep one. If Cancer is currently going through this, can we give him, them? Can we give Cancer a couple more cards in terms of what's to come? What is this High Priestess communicating subtly? Communicating via intuition and writing. I can't help but notice she has a laptop, but it could be through more mercurial. I don't know why I'm getting such strong Virgo here. Nothing about this has a Virgo energy in terms of the definition of the cards, but it's just like a feeling. Being ruled by Mercury, there's a communication aspect to this, where before it's like you were pushed aside or were silent or you weren't able to speak up. Now you are. You're trusting your gut. And part of it's brave because it might make you unpopular. I think one of the biggest, the kryptonite to Cancer is because it is so family oriented, it can fear rejection and like public humiliation. And to you, it's like you're willing to risk it because you know it's worth it. If you can save two people, but make 10 enemies for the right reasons, you're willing to risk it. I hope that makes sense. It might, okay, what I mean by that is it might put someone else in an awkward position, but you're doing it with a clear conscience, with a heart, because it's something that needs to come out. It's something that can't be hidden anymore. It needs to be seen. Interesting. Very interesting. Where is this headed? Yeah, you're absolutely. Communication. And part of this may have required a lot of study or research from you. You may have done some deep dive into books on spirituality, on psychology, on, I don't know, whatever this is. Speak up even if your voice trembles. That's important. That's really important. For some of you too, I want to bring this to a couple different levels, because for some of you it's very much an advocate for like domestic abuse or something. For others of you, I'm not saying it's any less important, but it's in a different category of life. For some of you, you were denied your ability to express your gifts in a creative way. You were told, you can't do that. That's silly. You have to grow up and be the financial advisor. You need to, be this. You need to be that. You can't be this. You can't play. You can't have fun. So for others of you, it's like you're sticking up a giant middle finger because you're like, but I'm a singer now. That's what I mean. So you guys need to take this on in terms of if and where it resonates in your life. It doesn't have to be these, huge political things or whatever. If it is, great. But for some of you, it's just you found your voice. And you still are finding your voice. I think this is really beautiful in that it's saying it's a process. There isn't necessarily a 180, but over time, I think you reflect back and you understand there was a yearning or desire to learn something that you didn't get. And so you had to go out into the world and study it for yourself. There's a lot of like schooling, higher educational things here. So some of you may be doing more informal, just reading of books, studying, gathering facts and information, kind of that Mercury Gemini thing. Versus Virgo, it might bring it to the next level. It might be very analytical. It might be more editing and then retracting and reshaping and reworking. And that is very kind of scorpionic, transforming it into something abuse. I keep wanting to say your wounds are your wisdom, but yeah, your past pain, it almost becomes your platform. Does that make sense for anyone? Yeah, sometimes it's good to have your head in the clouds. Sometimes it's good to dream. And it's both. It's having your head in the clouds and gathering new facts and information. But you can see her stance. She is firmly planted in reality. She's planted on the ground. It's almost like you're bringing your dreams and your desires into the 3D, into the tangible, into earthly energy. You're manifesting. What is this knowledge we're acquiring? The magician, your own power, your own voice. There's that Virgo Gemini energy. Yeah, a lot of Mercury here. And what's interesting too, in sharp contrast to the High Priestess, who is sometimes like the silent one or the secret one, there's a huge need to like kind of pull out your sword and speak your truth and say what you need to say. Calling bullshit on tricksters as well, or people who lied, people who said one thing and then did another. And maybe that's too harsh of a way of phrasing it, but people who are very contradictory. They said one thing and did another, or they held you to a certain standard, but then other people weren't. You know what I mean? There's a recalibration of finding internal balance and then putting it out into the world for other people to sort of find their own internal balance through you, through your words, through your voice, through you taking some sort of stand or just sharing what you know, sharing your gifts with the world, whether that's song or dance or voice or, some sort of powerful stance in the words you speak or the articles you write. Ooh, I don't know why I'm being called here. What is she pointing at? This is almost like a spirit guide for some of you. Some of you may have had a very strong connection to someone who passed away who was a Virgo or a Gemini or an Aquarius for some of you. What is she pointing at here? She's pointing at her garden, her bounty, her earth, her land, her property, her roots, her past, her power, her hidden power. This is a fire card. I want to be clear. This is Leo energy. I might get there, but there's actually something Scorpio about it. It's fixed fire, or I'm sorry, it's fixed water is Scorpio, but it's ruled by Mars, and I'm almost getting the idea of it's always been submerged. It's like the iceberg underwater, but it thaws out and it becomes like a rocket ship. It takes off. It's been lying in wait. There's something that's been going on under the surface that it's it's waited a very long time to spring up and out. This could even be something to do with passion, flames of desire. Maybe this is romantic, right? It absolutely could be. I think there's more to it than just that, but you may have multiple things sort of popping out of the ground at the same time, because there's a huge willingness to sort of open yourself up to the possibility of transformation. And I'm almost getting rewriting the history books. This happened, but it happened in the past, and I'm living in the now. I'm living, even with this kind of, building towards my future. There's some sort of hidden fire where it's almost like a healthy cathartic way where maybe anger needs to be expressed, or rage needs to come to the surface, but you're doing it in a way that it's, you're not going out there with a battle axe. You're going out there with your mighty pen or your laptop. The way you're expressing it, it's very eloquent. It's hard hitting. It packs some punches, but it's done in a way that it's very Cancerian. It's digestible. It's like mother's milk. What you're saying, it nourishes people in a way, or in areas where they lack. So let's talk about the idea of Leo. Leo ruled by the sun. Interesting that you have kind of sun and moon energy. Again, sort of the 180, the opposition, something to do with the mother and the father. Full moon, right? When the sun opposes the moon. So I think we have a full moon in Taurus coming up. And I've been saying this to all my signs. This full moon, it's during eclipse season, so it's like a full moon on steroids. It's very powerful. It's very impactful. It's very intense for every single sign. It is being influenced by planet Uranus, however you say it, because that planet is sitting in Taurus. So even though it's not happening at that exact degree, there's going to be sort of this unexpected breaking away, awakening vibe to the full moon coming up, where I'm just wanting to say you maybe step into your power and do something very untypical, or is it atypical, untraditional, of what you've always done, or how you've handled this matter. You may be dropping some heavy truths unexpectedly. You click publish onto your site, and it's out there for the world to see. It's very impactful, but it's breaking away outdated structures or outdated ways of thinking, outdated ways of doing things. Because there's what did they say? There's a new sheriff in town. I actually love that. And you're a trailblazer. You're bringing it with warmth. You're bringing it with fire. You're bringing it with compassion. But it won't be silenced. Fire can't really be tamed. It needs to be expressed. So a very strong connotation to Leo. So sure, some of you may be a little bit cuspy with Leo. You may have planets in Leo. That's awesome. Leos make tremendous teachers. And I don't remember if I've already said this on your video, but something I think it's really important to note is that we need Leos. Leos have this kind of performative aspect to them, right? It's about the authentic self-expression of their truth and who they are, but in a creative way. The reason being, when they're able to express themselves, it illuminates that sort of area or that talent, that skill, and it allows us to see it very visibly in full sunlight, right? So it pulls that out of us as well. Planets, the idea of the actor being on stage, the planets revolve around the sun, right? The Leo figure, the performer, right? There's sort of like a charisma or a magnetism there, but we learn from it because it's bright and visible. There is no shadowy secret confusion. It is what it is, right? Something about this is pulling out your own self-expression, and that's what you're going to do to others. You're quite literally going to pass on the torch. And I do think part of this, for some of you, there may be an element of looking back and regretting that you didn't do it sooner. But again, you don't need to do that. That's a waste of your energy. It was always there. It was buried, but it's like you had to uncover the truth yourself. And for some of you, I'm not necessarily indicating there's like a shocking secret. For some of you, there probably was. Others of you, it almost very Scorpio. It's like penetrating the land, going deeper and deeper and deeper until you discover that gem of light. It's your own self-expression, and then you pull it up and out to the surface, and it becomes sort of this torch you carry with you, and you maintain the light, you hold it, you commit to this sort of new way of life, or this new way of being, championing this idea or demonstrating it. That's a very big word for the Leo energy, demonstrating it for others so they can learn from it. And then again, passing on the torch, the idea of being the mentor, being the leader, sharing your gifts so then others can take that torch and then, follow in your footsteps and do the same. For some of you, it's like you discovered you had a skill, but you almost had to go out in the world and learn it on your own. It wasn't just handed to you. It wasn't just given to you. You had to find your mentors. You had to seek them out. There wasn't any, inherit the family business or take this on or here you go. You had to work tremendously hard for it, right? Your opposing sign, Capricorn. It's not just given to you, it's earned. You have to put in the work and the effort. A lot of you have. Through opposition, you have achieved great success, great power, great authority, great position, great respect and attention. I do think, though, sometimes you guys question yourself, though. You don't see yourself in the same light that everybody else does. Almost that moon, like it sort of wants to be hidden. It doesn't want to be fully visible, but that's what's so sort of perfect in this metaphor of like the full moon is that, well, it's going to reach its peak. It's going to reach that brightness because the sun is illuminating it. It's sharing all its rays and it doesn't ask for anything back. I think that's important. Leo can be very much associated with the father too. So again, something about this may play into a dynamic of your past or with your family. All right, Cancer, this seems badass. I'm not exactly sure what that was about. I mean, I think for a lot of you, it'll resonate on different levels. Anyone want to know about love? Should we read a quick card for love? That seemed more career oriented, I think, but let me know in the comments what resonates for you. This king wants to be seen. Some of you may have a fire king coming in, an Aries, Leo, Sag. I shouldn't say king, a fiery person, an Aries, Leo, Sag. Could be male or female. What about love? For my Cancers watching out there who want to know just a few details about the love life, what am I allowed to tell them here? The Eight of Swords in reverse. Fear is not holding you back. Yeah, there's that iceberg, that something submerged underwater. It's coming out and being seen. You're facing your fears, or you're letting go of past fears about your love life or about something that maybe you weren't ready to commit to, or you weren't necessarily agreeing with, or I don't know. But then you have the Eight of Pentacles, you're working through it. So eights are always cards of liberation. In reverse, I think it's sort of saying something that you've conquered or are working through. Self-imposed limitations, fearing what other people think of you, or suffering in silence, not saying what you need to say because, for whatever reason, fearing the repercussions, not wanting to make other people uncomfortable. We don't need to do that anymore. Free your mind, right? Isn't that a song from the 90s? Eight of Pentacles is about identifying with the work that you do, and finding people in life who you have the same goals and values and principles. Strong earth energy here. And I'm almost getting that idea of kissing a few frogs to meet your prince. You have a earth energy checking you out here, or possibly maybe Sagittarius with the antlers. I'm seeing like Capricorn, maybe even an Aquarius. I feel like there's something looming in the background, not in an ominous way, but there's something that it's deciding whether it wants to come in. But you are turning heads. Look at that. There's a few things checking you out, but it's like they're trying to get a pulse on what's going on here. I feel like I gave you this message earlier. If you are interested, make sure you're putting out the vibes. Scorpio, we are in Scorpio season, and Scorpios can sometimes, fall down that rabbit hole of extremes, black or white, this or that, all or nothing. So if you're kicking ass at work, clearly, that's what this says to me. But, you don't always have to put love on the back burner. Don't assume you're always going to be disappointed. You may have to test the waters again and put yourself out there if you are a single Cancer, right? That's sort of what I'm getting from that. The Ten of Wands. It's funny though, this is exactly what I was saying, but I don't think you're listening. It's like, no, like I'm in so deep, I have to finish this thing. You don't seem to be very concerned with love right now. You seem to be doing a lot of work, and work on your ego and your identity. I believe this is Sun in Virgo. So again, the sun is coming through very strong here, shedding a light on you, on your life, on your ultimate goals, your self-expression, who you are. Okay, yeah, there's the same message of you're still carrying around the burdens of a past relationship and everything that went wrong, but you're carrying it around like it's a lead weight that you're doomed to have to live with forever. This is something that needs to be cleared out, cleansed out. The passion you once held for someone, if they're not in your life, if they've exited, you might be holding on out of fear. Well, if I let go, what if they come back? That won't be an issue. If you're holding on to a person of the past and they come back, great. But it's almost like you can't hold on to the past memories or the past whatever. You kind of have to hit reset and start fresh. So I would really encourage you to declutter your life in more areas than one, but especially if painful memories where you were left doing all the work. I think We need to find partners and people where our the service we provide, if you will, that's a weird way of putting it, but it's appreciated and respected and again mirrored back to us. So it's 50-50. It's not one person lugging all the weight and doing all the work. Anyway. What's coming in for Cancer? Anything romantically? What might be coming in for Cancer? Judgment, yeah. Okay, you are looking to the past. And what is this judgment? What is this awakening? What is this call? What are we hearing? What are we understanding? Feeling trapped in a bubble. What is that about? Something with a Pisces? I don't know. A sad Pisces, a longing or missing you? I don't know. Whoop, whoop, whoop. They're not coming out for me, Cancer. What do you hear? What are you hearing right now? What are you listening to? Is there, and I mean literally right now, all of you on YouTube. I don't know why I'm being told to tell you that, but what do you hear? Is there a song in the background? Is there a buzz? Is there a hiss? Is there a ding? What is the universe trying to direct you to? Something about audible, yeah, something, it's audible. You can hear it. There's signs and messages in what you're listening to or hearing right now. Or there will be, so pay attention. The Ten of Swords, a final ending that you're willing to make peace with, and you're liberating yourself from like the shackles of an ending. Something that you were holding on to, the pain, the memories, you don't need it anymore. The Sun in Gemini, illumination of thoughts. Again, the Sun. You have a lot of Sun cards here. Seeing it visibly for what it is. Not the idea of what it could be. Not this dreamy, hopeless, romantic, one day it'll be. What is it now? What is the Sun showing you? What is fully illuminated and bright? Who is putting in the work? Who is wanting to build with you and who isn't? That's a really, really important message. The Sun in Gemini is taking people at their word. And again, sort of understanding, illuminating the idea of the trickster, the people who said one thing and did another, who were too changeable. Sometimes people change their mind and that's out of your control, but it's not a reflection of you and what you offer in a relationship. So for some of you, this is just forgiving yourself for spending too much time, replaying the past or shaming or blaming yourself for mistakes or whatever. You're being reborn, and there's a strong determination and power to find what you want within yourself, first and foremost, but then have that reflected back to you and others too. The Wheel of Fortune, there we go. There's expansion, there's optimism. There's a growing optimism. This is about good luck. It's about maintaining your sense of humor too, very much tied into kind of Sagittarian, even Pisces energy. Be the swimming fish. Don't feel like you have to be stuck in anything. If you're feeling stuck and you're not progressing forward, shake it up, mix it up, take a vacation, do something different or out of the ordinary. Jupiter energy, it's sort of implying that there's a divine energy around you, but it's saying you have to take the wheel. You have to decide where you're going to go from here, because with the Wheel of Fortune, the wheel progresses forward. The option of staying is not an option. You have to move forward. You have to roll with it. And you have no reason not to be excited and passionate and optimistic about it. Don't get too jaded. Don't get too stuck up or caught up on things that didn't work. This is about moving forward with optimism and positivity. Six of Wands. Yeah. Look at you with the microphone. That goes back to your other. Be the leader. Say your thing. Do the thing. Tell people how it really is. Be truthful. Be blunt. Don't be people pleasing. This might be someone you end up dating. Someone who really reflects back the carefree attitude of being who they are, living their authentic self or their authentic role in life. You may end up connecting with a Leo, or you might be already. If that's the case, I do like the vibes there. All right, Cancers, that's what I got for you this week. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.